Welcome. Hi, I'm Aries. We're reading oh my god, I tried to do an intro and I got it wrong the first try. Let's go. Hi, I'm Aries. We're reading The Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fish again, Volume 2. I just woke up pretty much. I woke up like 2 hours ago, but I won't know. Okay. I woke up like an hour and a half ago. But I did sleep at like 8 a.m. So who's to say if I got enough sleep? Anyway, I have tea. Hi. I have tea. I'm ready to go. I don't know how good my brain is this morning. How good my reading brain is. I did accidentally just dip my sleeve into my tea, so that's going well. We're already off to a good start. I think we're good. Anyway, I did eat, so I'm good to go. I have my tea. It's just barely cool enough to drink. Sorry for being a little bit late. Again, I just woke up pretty much. So that's how that is. I don't know. What am I supposed to say? There's always a thing. Side quest. I don't know what's the name. What's the thing called where you tangent, right? It's a tangent, but in like school or whatever, whenever I didn't do my homework or whatever, people were like, do you have an excuse for it? And I'm like, I do have excuses, but you're just gonna say they're just an excuse. Like, I don't understand. You're asking me if I have an excuse, but you're just gonna brush off the excuse. I don't Why are you asking in the first place? Anyway, I just think that's very dumb and that teachers are evil sometimes. That's all. But anyway, I will do a recap. What happened? What happened last time? I need to remember. There's so many things have been happening IRL over here. That I have no memory. Let's see. Oh my god, that's right. There are no other lovers. I adore you was where we last left off. Oh my god. Whoa. I don't know how we're gonna deal with that. I don't know how we're gonna deal with that. Anyway, we usually read about 3 to 4 chapters. Recently we've been 4. It's been more like 4 to 5, honestly. Have we? Did we read? No, we read 4 yesterday, last time, I believe. Anyway, probably get through around 4 chapters. Let me see how long they are. These are a little bit longer than last time, so maybe 3. We'll see. We'll see. Oh no. Oh no. What are we gonna do when we finish this book? We're almost okay. We're almost halfway through. We're like, yeah, pretty close to halfway through. What are we gonna do after this book? Oh, it's hard. Anyway, let me get my book on. Where's my book? There we go. Boys kissing. Mwah, 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 mwah. Let me drink some tea for good measure. I did wake up with a stuffy nose today, so we'll see how badly my allergies act up today. But yeah, that's just it. We'll see. Okay, let's get started. Chapter 53. Stealing Prince Jing. Do I know what's happening here? Do I have any inkling about what's gonna go on in this chapter? No, I do not. These are clickbait titles. This is what's... Okay, let's just start. Liu was dumbfounded. Great start. Great start. Liu was dumbfounded for a full 15 minutes. That big asshole writing such nonsense on all the walls in the manor made Liu so embarrassed that he wanted to dive right back into his fish tank. Weird slogans from the modern world flooded his mind, along with the confession walls from school. Oh my god. They're just high schoolers or middle schoolers. This is literally. That's true. They are pretty much just. They act like middle schoolers. I can't. Adore. No, I skipped it. I skipped a paragraph. Others might not know why those two sentences were put together, but Liu knew that it was because he had accused Prince Jing of treating him like one of his lovers, and that this was his belated response. Prince Jing didn't have any other lovers, and he acted so out of line because he liked him. Adore, adore. He chewed on this word for a while, and suddenly his heart ached a bit. If he and Prince Jing were ordinary people, he might have been a little touched right now. Whether or not he'd accept the confession aside, most people liked being confessed to, deep down, especially in such a brazen way, broadcasted to the whole world. God. Leo didn't feel happy, though, and his mood grew heavier. He knew Prince Jing didn't have anyone else. He'd reacted as he had thought what he'd reacted as he had because he thought Prince Jing thought he was easy. Liu felt humiliated and hadn't wanted to face Prince Jing for a while. But Prince Jing was using this method to tell him that it wasn't disrespect, but love. It was a bit of an old-fashioned way of saying it, but the meaning was clear. Prince Jing had fallen for him, which was even worse than if he disrespected him. Oh god. Oh god. Liu knew that he was Prince Jing's pet fish, and the Li Gongzi Prince Jing loved was nothing more than a fish clumsily trying to complete missions. Such feelings came from scheming and planning. They weren't naturally formed. If things progressed like this, what would the next mission from the system be? According to the system's logic, it would require a relationship even deeper than what they had during the Indulge quest. If he wanted to complete the mission, then he might have to do things that would encourage Prince Jing to sink further into this misunderstanding. Misunderstanding my ass. I am done with you. Leo, no. Go. Oh my god. I can't say go drown because you can't, but. Oh my god. Eventually, maybe he'd end up together with Prince Jing. A lot of transmigration novels ended that way. But he didn't want that. His feelings were valuable, and the way the system was pushing him was uncomfortable. He could let some things go, but he wouldn't budge when it came to romance. He didn't want his feelings to be manipulated or calculated. He has a point. But he's also stupid, so... He always shows concern and worry for Prince Jing, perhaps because he'd been his pet for so long. But that was just the love of a pet towards his master, not the love experienced by two equals. There was no way he could accept Prince Jing's feelings and give him his heart in return. Prince Jing didn't know Li Gongzi was a fish, but Li Yu did. The fish didn't love Prince Jing, and neither did Li Gongzi. Don't do that, Liu. You're lying to yourself. And to me. If he accepted the confession without loving Prince Jing, it would hurt everyone involved. While Liu was pondering all this, several servants came up to the white wall in front of him and gestured at the writing on it. Hang on. Liu knew Prince Jing had written those words, and that he was trying his hardest to explain things to him. Since he wasn't turning into a human, Prince Jing couldn't find him, and since Prince Jing couldn't speak, he could only write his words anywhere that Liu could see. No matter how childish his methods were, this still represented Prince Jing's feelings towards him, which was why Liu felt a bit sad after he realized Prince Jing liked him. He'd known Prince Jing for a while now, and he'd seen many sides to him. He knew that Prince Jing was a good person, since he treated both fish and people well. In the original novel, Prince Jing was cruel to others, but affectionate to the one he loved. Liu was well aware of this, but he couldn't force himself to fall in love with Prince Jing. Liu thought that as long as he didn't give Prince Jing any hope, if he didn't respond or transform into a human, Prince Jing would gradually forget about him. Just like the words written on the wall, they shocked the whole manor at first, but they would What? Okay, they shocked the whole manor at first, but they would eventually be erased by the servants, right? Oh my god. The other walls are about done. Let's start carving this one next. His Highness told us to hurry up. Even if Li Gongzi doesn't come back for now, he'll definitely see it when he finally does. Come rain or shine. The servants encouraged each other and soon began to carve Prince Jing's words directly into the wall. When the carving was finished, a special permanent ink was applied. You're gonna have to tear down those walls to take those words out. Oh my god. Liu, who'd assumed the servants had come to erase the words, was shocked. Didn't this bastard know the meaning of shame? It was one thing for everyone in the manor to see, but in the future, all his children and descendants. Empreg? Thinking of Prince Jing's future, Liu felt a lump in his throat and his eyes started to sting again. Liu jumped down from the windowsill, telling himself it was because the servants were making too much noise working on the wall, and scooted back into the fish tank. Windowsill? He wanted to sleep again, but he couldn't. Normally, he could sleep even when he was extremely angry, but the few words carved into the wall seemed to be carved into his heart too, emanating waves of pain and sadness. He wanted to rest, but he was restless. The room was silent until there was a soft, sudden click. The door bolt fell to the ground, the sound piercing the room. Since Li Gongzi came in and out of the room often, Prince Jing didn't let anyone lock the doors, so all the bolts hung loose. Maybe the person who pushed the door hadn't expected to enter so easily. Oh. A figure quickly flashed in. The footsteps didn't sound like Prince Jing or Wang Ji. Liu became alert immediately. The person who entered the room stood at the door, observing, with his back to the crystal fish tank. Liu immediately forgot about his conflict and stared at the person. After confirming he hadn't been followed, the person gave a sigh of relief, turned around, and walked forward a few steps. Liu caught a glimpse of the person's beautiful, ethereal face. Oh, okay. This person, wasn't it the delicate concubine from the original novel, Chu Yan-yu? Liu was stunned. Ever since the banquet at Prince Jing's manor, he hadn't seen Chu Yan-yu again. He thought Chu Yan-yu was with the third or sixth prince, but he was still at the manor? How come he hadn't known? Chu Yan-yu was wearing the same clothes that the servants at the manor wore. It was a bit plain, but it was enough to hide his aura. Liu didn't think that someone as weak as Chu Yan-yu would be able to enter the manor from the outside, which meant that he must have been in the manor the entire time. Prince Jing was in charge of everything in the manor, so there was no way Chu Yan-yu's existence could be hidden from him. That meant Prince Jing let him stay, just like he kept Liu. I can't. Liu, you dumb fucking idiot. Why do you think he's being sneaky? But when the third prince had presented Chu Yanyu to him at the banquet, Prince Jing had clearly refused. Did he change his mind? He'd said, "There are no other lovers," Liu thought bitterly. There might be no lovers, but he had a delicate concubine all the time and didn't tell him. All along and didn't tell him. That was too much. Since he had someone, why did he confess? Humph! He hated it when people kept their eggs in multiple baskets. Liu drew a big X over Prince Jing in his heart. My God, he's really fish-brained. It's too early for this. It's too early for this nonsense. Chu Yanyu walked to the crystal fish tank and looked curiously at the fish swimming back and forth inside. Everyone in the manor talked about how Prince Jing was raising a koi. Chu Yanyu had seen Prince Jing's fish from a distance before, but he wasn't able to get close. He only remembered that the fish was black, but now he could see that the fish had a silver body with gold on its belly and tail. With that appearance, it could only be a koi, but it wasn't unreasonable for Prince Jing to dote on that kind of fish the way he did. Chu Yanyu observed the fish for a while, and then he picked up one of the jade boxes on the table and opened it. He found red dry food in it, and when he checked, the other one had snacks that were broken into small pieces. Chu Yanyu closed the box with his snacks, picked up the dry food, and smelled it. He guessed it was fish food and frowned slightly, as if he didn't like the smell of it. But he still picked up a handful and walked back to the fish tank. Liu thought Chu Yanyu was bored and wanted to feed him, but Chu Yanyu lowered his head and whispered, "Be good. This is a rare opportunity I managed to get." Huh? Was Chu Yanyu talking to him because he knew he could understand? Liu was a little shocked. Was it possible? But he quickly realized that Chu Yanyu couldn't have known that he was a transmigrated fish. He just thought he was alone and was talking to himself. But he could hear everything. So awkward. This guy! Liu pretended to not understand and stupidly blew a bubble. Chu Yanyu wasn't suspicious and continued. "I've been in the manor for so long, but I've only seen His Highness a few times. I'm incompetent. I heard that there was a Li Gongzi who was doted on, and I can't figure it out." The doted on Li Gongzi tried not to look too obviously confused. "What do you not understand?" Chu Yanyu paused and looked down, chuckling. "I don't understand how he's better than I am. I've seen him from afar, and I'm quite confident I'm fairer than he. Why does His Highness like him, but treat me like air? But I finally understand." Chu Yanyu prattled on excitedly, almost as if he was in a daze. "The biggest difference between Li Gongzi and me is that he's the one who helps His Highness take care of his fish. Oy. He's managed to get close to His Highness because of the fish, so if I took over this job instead, I'd easily be on his level. And now the opportunity has come." Chu Yanyu gently smiled, saying, "Li Gongzi is arrogant because of the favor shown to him, and he left without saying goodbye. He's playing hard to get and hoping His Highness will fall more in love with him, but he's not the only one in the manor who knows how to raise and feed fish. I can as well. I can completely replace him, and I'd do a better job." Chu Yanyu threw the fish food in front of Liu, his slightly smiling face distorting for a second, and his eyes becoming cold. The scales on Liu's body were about to stand on end. He thought Chu Yanyu had lost his mind and was acting weird. From what he said, it seemed he wasn't doing well in the manor and was ignored by His Highness. Since he was never summoned, he wanted to steal Li Gongzi's job. Stealing. He's acting like I have something special with the bastard. He wants to get my affection and then set his sights on Prince Jing. The fish food Chu Yanyu threw in followed the current and landed in front of Liu. His ice-cold eyes were fixed on the fish. Liu couldn't help but shrink back a little. People had many sides. How come the proud, noble, delicate concubine from the novel turn out to be such a bad person on the inside? Liu thought Chu Yanyu was dangerous, so he obviously refused to eat the food he was given. The fish food sank down near his mouth, but he didn't go to pick it up. Chu Yanyu looked vicious for a second. He was having a hard time in Qingji Garden these days. Shortly after he came to the manor, he was beaten within an inch of his life. There was no doctor to treat him, and everyone else in Qingji Garden was too busy with themselves and didn't care whether he lived or died. Chu Yanyu secretly sent a letter to the sixth prince. The first few times had failed, but at last there was a response. The sixth prince wanted him to stay with Prince Jing and gain his trust. What a bitch. Chu Yanyu stroked the letter the sixth prince had sent him, feeling like his heart was being stabbed with a knife. His beloved sixth prince still put such faith in him. but he couldn't even see Prince Jing. How was he going to help the sixth prince in the future? You deserve better, my dude. Chu Yanyu mulled this over, day and night, as if possessed. After much thought, he decided that he would do anything, even if it meant he had to abandon all his dignity. He had to earn Prince Jing's favor. Chu Yanyu didn't have much money left, so he had to use the method he disliked the most. He flirted with a guard for a couple days and promised him a lot of benefits, which earned him the opportunity to sneak into the inner courtyard. He'd heard that Prince Jing's new favorite, Li Gongzi, was throwing a tantrum and had run away from the manor, so he made up his mind and decided to use this opportunity to win over Prince Jing. He suspected that Li Gongzi was favored because he was always around the fish, giving him an advantage. As long as he could take care of the fish too, then Li Gongzi wouldn't be needed anymore. But even though he was here already, the fish wasn't eating the food he gave him. Whatever, Chu Yanyu sneered coldly, then poured a packet of brown herbal powder into a tea bowl and started mixing it. Liu couldn't believe it. Delicate concubine, are you really intending to drug Prince Jing? That was a tea bowl used for the fish to travel around, not for Prince Jing to drink out of. That's the end of the chapter. That's the end of... Okay. Oi. Sorry. The next chapter is called Nothing to Do with Fish. Why is this called Stealing Prince Jing? Oh, because he's trying to steal Prince Jing. Right now, my mouth has not warmed up to speak so many words. Oh, I'm still sleepy. I'm stretching. Maybe I'll wake up. Sorry. I'm very sleepy and I'm drinking chamomile tea, so that doesn't really help. It's a bit silly on my part. Should have gotten a different tea, but all the other teas suck. So. Anyway. Chapter 54, Nothing to Do with Fish. Liu stared at Chu Yanyu. I keep trying to say Chu Yanyi, but it's not. Liu stared at Chu Yanyu, bewildered. All the tea bowls were extremely large now, since he'd grown larger. Did Chu Yanyu not find that strange? Well, he couldn't exactly blame him. As a fish, Liu usually only jumped around inside the room and rarely did so outside. But Prince Jing kept ordering new bowls to be prepared, which created misunderstandings. Chu Yanyu assumed Prince Jing was used to using tea bowls that were several times larger than normal. Oh, he's kind of silly. The brown herbal powder dissolved immediately into the water, leaving no trace. Liu was frightened since he didn't know what medicine Chu Yanyu had just solved. It shouldn't be arsenic. Chu Yanyu had touched it with his bare hands, so Liu knew it couldn't be anything so dangerous as that. Even if it was, he'd put the medicine in the wrong water, so it should be fine. Liu tried very hard to reassure himself, but then Chu Yanyu got up and realized that there were more tea bowls of similar styles all around the room. Oh well. He'd put all this effort into breaking in, so he couldn't leave any room for error. He'd just have to put the medicine in every bowl. My guy. Liu watched him drugging everything and thought, how much medicine did you bring, delicate concubine? There was a huge red lotus tea bowl on Prince Jing's desk, the size of a large, regular bowl. Chu Yanyu didn't miss that one either, nor the smaller, colored glazed cup next to the tea bowl. Liu didn't dare make a sound. The delicate concubine didn't know it, but the colored glazed cup was the only one Prince Jing actually used. Somehow, he'd still managed to get it right. Chu Yanyu finished pouring medicine into the cup and looked at the final packet of medicine in his hand uncertainly. I don't know why that one's tripping me up. Uncertainly. The hell? There were some noises outside the door, signaling that someone was coming. Chu Yunyu stopped hesitating and quickly downed the last packet of medicine himself. Liu was now sure that Chu Yunyu wasn't using poison. If it was poison, he wouldn't have taken it himself. Then what kind of medicine was it that Chu Yunyu needed to take it too? I wonder. Liu was flustered Liu was flustered. In a palace novel, if it wasn't poison, then it was an aphrodisiac, right? The delicate concubine who barely paid Prince Jing any attention in the original novel was now trying to give Prince Jing an aphrodisiac. And his fish just happened to be here to see. What an improbable and shocking series of events! Chu Yunyu coughed a couple of times, wiped away the powder on his lip, and smoothed out the wrinkles on his outfit, before grabbing another handful of fish food and rushing over to stand in front of the fish tank pretending to feed the fish. Prince Jing entered the room. Chu Yunyu pretended to be surprised, put down the fish food, and greeted Prince Jing. Your Highness. Liu was in the fish tank Liu was in the fish tank behind him, watching the tall figure approach step by step. When he thought about how this guy shamelessly confessed his plot to him, Liu's heart beat faster for some reason. He backed up a little, sticking close to the ornamental mountain. Prince Jing didn't even look at Chu Yunyu, who was still kneeling, and went straight for the fish tank. Ah, the bastard is really coming! Liu instinctively wanted to dive into the cave, but then he remembered that Prince Jing didn't know he was Li Gongzi. What was there to be afraid of? I can't hide. It has nothing to do with me. Oh, but the medicine Chu Yunyu just put in all the water. It had nothing to do with him, but should he somehow let Prince Jing know? But all Prince Jing cared about when he came in was seeing his fish. His dark, deep eyes seemed to penetrate his fish skin to reveal the human heart beneath. Liu felt chills from his gaze, and he felt a little guilty. He immediately ducked behind an aquatic plant near the ornamental mountain. Your Highness, Chu Yunyu felt a bit grieved since he'd been kneeling for a while. Why was Prince Jing bent on seeing his fish instead of him, even though he was kneeling before him? But at least now he knew for certain that he had no status compared to the fish. It also meant that he was right to put his effort toward the fish instead. Chu Yunyu took a deep breath and smiled, saying, Your Highness, I was passing by when I noticed the fish was hungry and hadn't been fed. I came in brazenly. Please forgive me, Your Highness. Chu Yunyu thought that he was beaten last time because he failed to figure Prince Jing out. Perhaps Prince Jing didn't like it when others were too forward, so he'd apologize and admit his mistake first this time, while emphasizing that he did it for the fish. As long as he acted the way Prince Jing liked, Prince Jing would definitely notice him. Sure enough, when he mentioned the fish, Prince Jing glanced at him just once, but Chu Yunyu noticed that since Prince Jing didn't chase him out of the room, it meant he could stay. He felt like he was getting closer to Li Gongji's position. Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going. Li was uncomfortable with the fact that Prince Jing wasn't making Chu Yunyu leave, because there were usually no outsiders when Prince Jing was in the room. When he finally treated the delicate concubine... was he finally treating the delicate concubine differently? What an asshole! He's called him an asshole like so many times already. Bastard and asshole. Liu thrashed his tail in irritation and accidentally snapped the aquatic plants as he was hiding behind. Whoops. Prince Jing had great hearing. He heard the sound of the aquatic plants snapping, so he looked over. Liu immediately curled up the tail that had caused the trouble. Fine, do what you want. Important things must be said 3 times. He was just a fish, and Prince Jing could keep whoever he liked. It was none of his business. Prince Jing looked at the fish for a bit, but seeing that the fish didn't swim over, he didn't reach his hand out either, so as not to annoy the fish. Instead, he walked to the table and sat down. Chu Yuanyu guessed that the medicine he took was about to start working, so he softly said, "Your Highness, let me pour you a cup of tea." Liu couldn't help but swim to the front of the crystal tank. The delicate concubine was so proactive this time. Were sparks finally going to fly between the original couple in the novel? Of the novel? He should have been happy. If Prince Jing was with Chu Yuanyu, then he wouldn't think of him. But was he supposed to pretend not to know that Chu Yuanyu had drugged all of the tea bowls in the room? Liu hesitated, unsure. On one hand, it would be helpful to him, but on the other hand, was Prince Jing. Okay, that is so. This sentence is phrased so weirdly. It's okay. Hang on. Let me read that over. On one hand, it would be helpful to him, but on the other hand, was Prince Jing, the big asshole. He was a fish, not some saint. He was totally capable of caring only about himself and choosing things that only benefited him. Prince Jing and Chu Yuanyu were a couple in the original novel, and Liu wasn't the one who put the medicine in the water. At most, he was just a bystander. If his conscience couldn't take it, he could ask the system to reset so that he wouldn't feel any guilt, and he could be a happy fish. He is so such a bitch. We all know he's gonna come through at the last moment, though. There was no need to feel so conflicted. Your Highness, I don't know which cup you use. Chu Yuanyu's sweet voice sounded again. This Chu Yuanyu was completely different from the arrogant, proud young master at the banquet. Liu's heart shook. Chu Yuanyu was asking in order to minimize Prince Jing's suspicion. He knew Chu Yuanyu was about to make a move. Prince Jing cocked his head as if he was about to reply. You bastard, ignore him, Liu thought in a panic. But Prince Jing couldn't know what the fish was thinking, and his eyes landed on the glazed cup next to the lotus bowl. Chu Yuanyu understood and held the glazed cup with both hands, directly in front of Prince Jing. Giving it some thought, he knelt down obediently. From where Prince Jing was sitting, his figure should be displayed to best effect from this angle. Chu Yuanyu's face started to feel hot. He thought it must be the medicine. He'd never tried seducing anyone so boldly before, so it was normal to be worked up. It was different from flirting a little with the guards. He would soon conquer the man in front of him. Your Highness, please have some tea. Chu Yuanyu calmed himself down and coaxed Prince Jing softly. Prince Jing took the cup, his slender fingers caressing the edges. Liu knew his habits and that he might drink it in the next second. Was Prince Jing so unguarded why was Prince Jing so unguarded today? What happened to testing all the prince's foods and drinks with a silver needle? Okay, well, an aphrodisiac might not show up on a silver needle, but where was the servant who was supposed to try the prince's food? Prince Jing was about to lift the cup. Liu had no time to think. At such a critical moment, he felt like he had to do something, no matter who Prince Jing liked or who he ended up with. There was no way Liu would allow them to drug him. If Chu Yuanyu could make Prince Jing sincerely like him, then Liu wouldn't stop them. But using drugs, that was the difference between that and what was the difference between that and using force? He wouldn't accept either. My man's getting all protective. Oh my god. Chu Yuanyu had already put the medicine in every tea bowl for the fish. He couldn't jump over using the tea bowls and knock the cup out of Prince Jing's hands. If a person touched an aphrodisiac, they'd be hot with desire, but if a fish touched it, he might turn it into boiled fish. Liu could only rely on himself now. He had to turn into a human and warn Prince Jing that way. He was still mad, but at such an important moment, he had to put his temper aside and prioritize other things. Liu quietly took out the fish pillow that he kept in his inventory, threw it into the crystal fish tank, positioned it, and chose an angle to jump out from that Chu Yuanyu and chose an angle to jump out from that Chu Yanyu and Prince Jing wouldn't be able to see. Prince Jing seemed interested in what Chu Yanyu was saying, but he was actually following the fish's movements out of the corner of his eye. He realized the fish had jumped out and landed with a clear slap, which caught Chu Yanyu's attention. With no other choice before Chu Yanyu could turn around, Prince Jing gently flicked the brim of his cup with his nail. Chu Yanyu's attention was immediately diverted. "Your Highness, is there something wrong?" Why wasn't he drinking the water with the medicine? Prince Jing smiled, picked up the cup, and calmly brought it to his lips. Chu Yanyu watched him expectantly. Prince Jing looked past him and saw the fish on the ground, standing on its tail. Oh my god. I hate this stupid fish when he does skateboard shenanigans. I hate it so much. I hate this stupid skateboarding fish. When I get you, I'll get you one day. Oh my god. Prince Jing looked past him and saw the fish on the ground, standing on its tail and sliding in a fancy arc to end up behind the cabinet. Prince Jing had never realized that the carp spirit's tail could be used that way. He was distracted for a second and sneakily glanced at the fish tank again, worried that Chu Yanyu would realize that the fish was gone from the fish tank. But just as he was working out how to grab Chu Yanyu's full attention, he saw a silver fish in a huge crystal tank, facing head down on the stone bed, strange and motionless. Prince Jing had seen another fake fish that looked exactly the same as the carp spirit before. He was sure this one was fake too, because the real carp spirit had just jumped out of the tank. Perhaps it was a cloning skill. Prince Jing knew a little about cultivation, rubbed his eyebrows. Prince Jing, who knew a little about cultivation, rubbed his eyebrows. With the fake fish, there'd be no need to worry about Chu Yanyu finding out. He picked up the cup again and tried to predict how long it would take Xiao Yu to turn into a human. He's a little bit. Xiao Yu was faster than he thought. He jumped out quickly, shouting, "Your Highness, you can't drink that!" He was finally here. Prince Jing pursed his lips and put the cup fully aside. Chu Yanyu was shocked by the sudden appearance of this young man, his fingernails digging into his palm. The young man who disrupted his plans was dressed in green robes with bright eyes and white teeth. The slim young man was Li Gongzi, who had supposedly run away from the manor. Eee! There's an illustration on the other page of this is so cute. It's of Prince Jing holding the cup and Liu being like, "No, you can't drink that," and then Chu Yanyu in the back being like, "What the fuck is going on?" Oh my god, it's so cute. Chu Yanyu frowned, feeling irritated. Li Gongzi had left already, so why did he come back? Was he not happy that his position was being threatened, and now he was trying to take him down? Or did Li Gongzi find out that he put medicine in the cup? That was possible. Chu Yanyu knew that he was the only one in. Oh, that was impossible. Chu Yanyu knew he was the only one in the room when he did the deed. What do you mean? Why can't he drink it? Chu Yanyu asked indignantly. The medicine had been used already. If he hesitated for a moment, Prince Jing would suspect him. Liu didn't have time to deal with him. He stepped forward and grabbed Prince Jing's sleeve, loudly saying, "Your Highness, you can't drink this. It's been drugged." Chu Yanyu looked over at Liu in surprise. No sooner than Liu had finished speaking, Wang Ji came in with a group of guards. Liu was stunned, and Prince Jing took his hand immediately. Prince Jing nodded to Wang Ji, who ordered the guards to grab Chu Yanyu. Chu Yanyu, still hopeful, struggled and said, "Your Highness, I didn't. You can't just listen to Li Gongji's side of the story." He was trying to stay calm, but he realized something was wrong when Wang Ji took away all the tea bowls in the room. How did Wang Gongong know that he had tampered with all the tea bowls? And the medicine he'd taken just before? Chu Yanyu looked down at his uncontrollably trembling legs. That was what finally made him sink into desperation. What was waiting for him? In any case, it definitely wasn't what he wanted, which was Prince Jing's trust and favor. He's. We need. He's been wronged so many times. This guy. I need him to have one W. He is so sad. He is so sad to me. Can I have him? Can I? Can I just? Can I? Can I just? Can he just? Can he just? Ugh. Wang Zi took the wicked Chu Yanyu away like a gust of wind. Prince Jing and Liu were the only ones left in the room. Wang Gonggong understood that there was a lot that Prince Jing wanted to tell Li Gongzi, so he even closed the doors thoughtfully on his way out. While Li Gongzi was upset, Wang Ji and His Highness were both struggling, so Wang Ji hoped that Liu would have a change of heart. With the door closed, the room returned to silence. Liu looked at Prince Jing coldly. Prince Jing was happy beyond words and immediately wanted to hug him. Liu knocked away Prince Jing's outstretched hands and said icily, "Did your highness know that Chu Yanyu was going to drug you?" A few things were strange about everything that had just happened. He was distracted at the time because of how worried he was, but he should have figured it out early on. Prince Jing hesitated and nodded. Since the last incident with Chu Yanyu, he'd been high on Prince Jing's alert this time. What? No. He'd been high on Prince Jing's alert list. Prince Jing knew what was happening as soon as the trouble started. Otherwise, how could Chu Yanyu have so easily made it to the inner courtyard? Courtyard. I'm not finished with the word. I need to finish the word. I think finishing the word is ideal, maybe. The medicine that Chu Yanyu had worked his hardest to get had been replaced long ago by soybean powder. Prince Jing had also confirmed that Chu Yanyu had no sharp objects on him and couldn't harm the fish. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let Chu Yanyu enter his room. He didn't care who was behind the delicate concubine's plans. He just wanted to use Chu Yanyu to lure Xiao Yu out. In the words of the ancients, one day apart seemed like 3 years. Prince Jing hadn't believed it before, but now he knew what it felt like. Xiao Yu had avoided him for the past couple of days, and a darkness had started brewing in Prince Jing's heart. He could do all kinds of crazy things for him. Using a human pawn was nothing. He wrote everything he wanted to say to Xiao Yu on the wall, but he still didn't appear. He was afraid that Xiao Yu would avoid him forever, so he felt like he had no choice but to resort to this. Chu Yanyu had schemed against him in front of Xiao Yu. Prince Jing had bet that Xiao Yu still cared about him and would show up to save him. And when he did, he could tell his fish how he felt in person. Chu Yanyu had Nope, I just read that. The plan was risky, but he trusted Xiao Yu with his life. Fortunately, he was right, and he finally got to see Xiao Yu's human form again. Prince Jing was so elated that most of his anger disappeared. But once Xiao Yu confirmed that Prince Jing had known about the plan from the get-go, his expression kept changing. Prince Jing could tell that Xiao Yu was upset again. The youth in front of him lowered his head, wiped his face, and muttered, "You lied to me again." Liu turned into a human for Prince Jing because he didn't want him to get hurt. But now that he knew it was all part of Prince Jing's plan, he guessed it was probably to make him show up. Liu's heart hadn't recovered yet from being humiliated and deceived, and this time his anger reached its peak. "I hate it when people lie to me," he spat out coldly. He broke away from Prince Jing's arms, punched him in the chest, and ran out of the room without looking back. Ooh, there is drama brewing. Drama. Drama. I don't listen to Monster X. Oh my goodness. That is the end of the chapter. I'm still so sleepy. The next chapter is called Sick Fish. Sick Fish. Like a sick fic? Is this like a sick fic? Are we gonna get a sick fic? Can we get a sick fic, please? I guess it's not a fic if it's just. Can we just get some? Can we? I need because Liu has been helping Prince Jing heal from multiple not illnesses. What am I saying? Injuries in the past. Can we get a reverse, please? Can we get a reverse? Can we get a reverse? Oh my god. Let me just take a second to wake myself up. I don't have any ways to wake myself up, and caffeine doesn't work. Can't stay so gay, so have fun on stream, gay. Got it. Alright. I'm waking up. Should I just slap myself? I shouldn't. I just took a shower, and my moisturizer is still like kind of oily on my skin. Huh? Streak? Gay? You're gay. You know, chamomile tea doesn't really help to stay awake, just so you know. I might just get some different tea. I think I'll do a break now and get some different tea. And try to like walk around just to wake up a little bit more. So I will do that. I will run an ad while we're at it so y'all don't miss anything. And yeah. BRB. Hello, I'm back. Hello, I'm back. I have some loose leaf tea, and it might even be a little too loose because it's getting in my cup. Um, some of the loose tea is a bit too tiny, so it went through the little holes in the thingy. I think I put too much in. Honestly, I don't drink a lot of loose leaf tea. I think I put too much in. But that's okay. It's still very hot. I just put the water in. Um, but yeah. I'm feeling a little bit more awake. I did notice that my lower back is hurting a bit. It's just, how it is. How it is when you exist. You know what I mean? Don't you love it? I'm just gonna have to, lie down again after stream. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Anyway, how's your day going? Let's just chat a little while my tea. I'm like tea, just like tea. When tea cools down, it smells, wow. It's like an orange something tea. Hibiscus? Hibiscus? Anyway. These past few weeks have been really, really exhausting for me because there's been a lot of family gatherings, stuff like that, because people have been in town and birthdays and such. And tomorrow more families gonna come over. We're gonna have a dinner. Oh, I dropped the thing in. Fuck. Oh, good thing I brought a spoon. Anyway, after tomorrow, hopefully I can finally rest again because there's not gonna be people coming over for a while after that. Man, summer, am I right? But yeah, it's been a time. It's been a time and a half, and this is so pink and peachy color. Oh dear. Oh dear. I didn't put any honey or sugar in it because honestly I don't really want any. And sugar is bad for your throat when you're trying to talk and sing and such. I just don't want any. It's gonna be way too hot. Oh, sorry. I think we're just gonna take it out for now. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm not gonna be able to touch it. It's like a metal thing. Why do they make a metal thing? That's stupid. Okay. Hee hee. Tea. It should be good now. It's been like 4 minutes. I think. I have no idea. I have no sense of time. That's what ADHD does to you. Oh, no. You know what? I think we're just gonna start, and then my tea will cool down when it cools down. I love having you in the background while I play Dress to Impress or whatever. Oh my god! I'm like your good luck charm. Not Dress to Impress. I've seen so much Dress to Impress stuff. Just on my timeline of people like, oh, Dress to Impress hacks, or all of my Dress to Impress outfits. I just want to share because haha hee hee, and it's so silly. It's so silly. I can't. It's like we're playing dress up games again. but with competition. I've always been playing dress up games. I still play. Peekers are just dress up games. I would probably like Dress to Impress a lot, but also hate it at the same time. But I have a thing. I vowed never to touch Roblox. I have a vendetta against Roblox. Cause some guy, well, I don't know if they're a guy, but someone who stole my card and stole. Actually, I think they stole my identity. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they stole my identity. But they spent it. They spent so much of my money to buy Robux. Isn't that what the fuck? Actually, what the fuck? Fuck you. Go die in a ditch. I don't care. Die. Robux? Ugh. Anyway, that was last year's conflict. I'm done with that. That's over. I did put all my money in a different bank and whatever. Oh my god. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyway, let's just get started on the next chapter. Chapter 55. Sick Fish. Liu rushed out of the room. He knew that Prince Jing, as a prince from ancient times and a tyrant male protagonist, had his own way of dealing with things, but he couldn't stand the fact that he had been so full of passion while the other party was just acting on purpose just for him to see. He truly hated being lied to these past few days. His rebellious heart was like dynamite that exploded at the touch. Wang Gongong and a group of servants were waiting outside. Seeing him come out, he called out in surprise, "Li Gongzi!" Liu's lips twitched. He didn't know what to say to Wang Ji, so he decided to ignore him. He turned away and ran toward one of the gardens behind the fake mountain. Wang Gongong ordered people to follow him, but Prince Jing came out after Liu and shook his head at Wang Ji, who understood at once that he wasn't to interfere. Prince Jing gave chase himself. Wang Ji was afraid that Li Gongzi would run away again later, though. Prince Jing had stopped him from chasing Li Gongzi, but it would be fine for him to surround the garden, right? My god. The garden wasn't very large, and Prince Jing soon found Liu standing, dazed, in the middle of the pavilion. Prince Jing didn't know why the carp spirit was upset again. Ye Qinghuan wanted him to learn how to make someone happy, but it seemed like he just couldn't help making mistakes. He didn't understand, and it was so inconvenient that he couldn't express himself when he wanted to, since he couldn't speak. Why am I tearing up? I'm going to kill myself. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Why am I crying? What the hell is this? What the hell is even that? This is how every disabled person, like, thinks. Pretty, not everyone, but like, we've all been there. Oh my god. This fish book is not making me cry. That's not what's happening. Stop, it's not. Listen, it's just as someone who has trouble expressing themselves with words and who sometimes goes nonverbal because of my autistic tendencies. Autistic tendencies is stupid. I can relate. I can relate a little bit. Prince Jing held a note in his hand. He intended to hand it to Liu, but Liu assumed he was trying to catch him and smiled desolately. Liu had a feeling that it would be hard for him to escape if he was caught. Boo. Liu had a feeling that it would be hard for him to escape if he was caught, and he was still upset with Prince Jing besides. He didn't want to see him, much less talk about love. He thought he had to transform to save Prince Jing, but since Prince Jing was apparently perfectly fine without his help, he wanted to disappear as quickly as possible. He remembered that the large fish pond Prince Jing constructed connected all the bodies of water within the manor, and and under this pavilion was a pool. If he just entered the water, he could swim away and shake off Prince Jing. Liu made his decision. Oh no, they're gonna get wet! Oh no! Prince Jing had just stepped into the pavilion when Liu loudly said, "Stop chasing me!" Prince Jing hesitated for a moment, nodded, and even stepped back to show his sincerity. As he stepped back, Liu turned his back to Prince Jing, facing the pool under the pavilion, and leapt over the railing into the pool. Prior to transmigrating, he didn't know how to swim, but after he turned into a fish, he found his human form could swim too, though there were few opportunities for him to do it. Is he gonna get a cold? Or a fever? Is he gonna be too cold in the water and Prince Jing's gonna have to rescue him and he's gonna have to heal him? Ugh! He wasn't planning on swimming around, though. He just wanted to hide in the water until he turned back into a fish. That was the consequence of his reckless transformation, and it was safer to hide as a human than wander around. But his sudden plunge into the cold pond as a human sent chills racing through his body. Liu shivered as he tried his best to adapt to the water. Prince Jing was completely taken aback. He had just started to wonder what Liu was up to when he jumped into the pool. His pupils contracted as he lunged after Liu, grasping the air. Looking down, he noticed a figure moving in the water and realized that Xiao Yu must have swum away. Prince Jing knew that he couldn't compete with the carp spirit when it came to swimming. He could never match his speed in the water. However, all the pools in the manor were connected, so he could roughly guess where Xiao Yu was headed, and rushed to the next pool or pond to stop him. I'm checking if my tea is cooled down yet. A bit. Oh boy, that's sour. That is something. I'm not sure I like that very much, honestly. I think this tea is very old. I think it is very, very old. Prince Jing left the pavilion and ran straight to where Liu might show up. But he waited there for a while and Xiao Yu never appeared. The carp spirit had escaped again. Wang Ji came over to ask him where Li Gongji was. Prince Jing shook his Prince Jing shook his head, face ashen. Xiao Yu couldn't maintain his human form for long, and Prince Jing couldn't ask his servants to go into the water to find him. The fewer people that knew the identity of the carp spirit, the better. The pond he'd built was huge, but luckily it wasn't connected to the outside. Only the pools and ponds within the manor. There were guards on shore too, so Xiao Yu was at least safe in the water and couldn't leave the manor. Prince Jing ordered his people to constantly keep an eye out on all the water in the manor. He then went back to his quarters and waited outside, where Xiao Yu often came out of the water to play with him, hoping that perhaps Xiao Yu would come out after swimming around for a while. Fish. Prince Jing waited for 2 hours, but Xiao Yu didn't show up. 2 hours. Boy. When Liu entered the water in human form, he couldn't breathe like he was a fish, so he couldn't swim very fast. Since he turned into a fish, he could recognize a lot of aquatic plants now. He found one with a hollow stem, broke it, and held it in his hand. He's gonna pull it. Oh my god. If he was about to run out of air, he could poke it out of the water and sneak a breath. He pulled a Robin Hood. He's so cartoon. He's cartoon coded. Oh, that's not good. Somehow it tastes like curry. I don't know why. Curry water. Where was I? Oh no. He'd guessed that Prince Jing would wait for him at the next pond, so he tricked him by hiding after he got there, tucked away in an unseen corner. Even after Prince Jing gave up and left, assuming Liu might not be there after all, Liu still didn't show his face. He stayed hidden until he turned into a fish again, and then he put his clothes into his inventory and started swimming around. Because of his current color, he'd be easily spotted if he got close to the water's surface, so he only swam in deeper waters. The bottom of the pool was the same. Prince Jing had built miniature cities for him, and Liu felt uncomfortable when he saw them now. He wanted to swish his tail and destroy everything. Out of sight, out of mind. With his current tail strength, he might not be able to shatter them in a second, but he could ruin a good portion. But even though he raised his tail, he couldn't bring it down. It was Prince Jing's present to his fish, and he couldn't bring himself to take his anger out on it. Liu coldly harumphed and glanced indifferently at the underwater city. He couldn't strike anything with his tail, so he turned and swam toward the building at the end of the pool. This building was made to resemble one of Prince Jing's long-lived... Nope. This building was made to resemble the one Prince Jing lived in, and the jade statue of Prince Jing and the fish-shaped stone Liu had placed inside were still there. In the past, when Liu came down to play, he would pull off the moss growing on the statues, but he wasn't in the mood for it today. Liu swam over angrily and shoved Prince Jing's statue with his mouth. It tilted, as if stumbling. He couldn't use his tail to destroy Prince Jing's statue either, since he wouldn't be able to play with it afterward. He pushed the statue several times, and it swayed and finally fell. Liu then pressed his whole body onto the statue, as if he was sitting right on him. "Prince Jing, you big bastard! Ah!" Liu had saved him out of the goodness of his heart, but he had been deceived. He rolled into an angry ball. The fish-shaped stone was lying off to the side, and Liu picked it up in his mouth and put it on the jade statue's back. After messing around with it for a while, the fish got tired and fell asleep on the jade statue. His body felt lighter as he slept like that. He didn't know how much time had passed, but Liu suddenly woke to the sound of human voices. Why were there people at the bottom of the pool? Liu drowsily wanted to see who was there, but he couldn't bring himself to wake up even after trying a couple of times. Since he'd been sleeping at the bottom of the pool the entire time, Prince Jing was getting anxious and didn't want to wait for him to come out on his own. Oh no. So he decided to go into the water and take a look. Wang Ji tried to persuade him that the pool was too big and it might be dangerous, but Prince Jing's gaze told him, "Move aside." Wang Ji realized that His Highness had made up his mind, so he backed off and asked Prince Jing to take a few servants who were good at swimming to go with him. But Prince Jing shook his head, declining. He didn't know what Xiao Yu's condition was underwater, and he was afraid that Xiao Yu's identity would be revealed if there were people around. The miscommunication is actually killing me. Yep. I thought this might have been the one stream for communication as shown in the title, but oh my god. Boys are not only communicating, but boys are not only miscommunicating, but it's also just... I actually don't have any words. I don't have any words for it right now. Oh my god. Ew. The fuck? It would be best if he went along. Prince Jing was good at swimming too. He changed into clothes that were suitable for swimming and entered the water. It was best if he went alone. My bad. The guards had been staring at the water for a long time, but they didn't see Xiao Yu. It was clear that Xiao Yu was still at the very bottom. Prince Jing started searching the bottom of the pool, but ran out of breath a couple of times and had to breathe before going back down again. He had searched almost everywhere when it came to the building at the end of the pool, and to his surprise he saw his fish curled up there. Prince Jing's heart clenched. He touched the fish's head, but the fish didn't move. He lifted the fish up gently, but the fish remained unconscious. Something rolled out from under him. Prince Jing looked and saw it was his jade statue. Prince Jing guessed that the carp spirit was meditating again, though it was preferable In this case, since it prevented him from throwing a tantrum and leaving, Prince Jing thought for a moment, opened his robes, and carefully tucked the fish inside, and swam towards the surface. Your Highness, what happened? Wang Ji rushed over and found the fish in Prince Jing's arms. Wang Gonggong was bewildered. Wasn't the fish master in the crystal fish tank in the room? Wasn't His Highness looking for Li Gongji? Why did he show up with the fish master? Prince Jing gave him a warning glance, forbidding him from speaking further. Wang Ji racked his brain. Did I get it wrong? Master Zhao Yu went into the pool and went into the pool to play, and your Highness was looking for Master Zhao Yu, not Li Gongji? Prince Jing nodded without a hint of guilt. So that was what happened. Wang Ji immediately accepted it. He'd been wondering how Li Gongji had managed to stay in the water this whole time and not come out, but it turned out that he'd misunderstood. His Highness was looking for Master Zhao Yu. Li Gongji must have left long ago. Wang Ji followed Prince Jing into the room. Prince Jing moved the fish pillow into the Prince Jing moved the fish pillow in the crystal fish tank to the side and put the little carp on the silver stone bed instead. Only then did Wang Ji notice that the fish had been sitting in the fish tank. Only then did Wang Ji notice that the fish that had been sitting in the fish tank was fake. Wang Gonggong wiped the sweat off his forehead and felt a bit ashamed. His Highness must have made it to deceive Chu Yanyu and protect the fishmaster. Why didn't he think of it before? The fishmaster must have been put in the pool instead, which was why His Highness was looking for him. It all made sense now. Wang Ji wanted to help Prince Jing change, but Prince Jing stared at the fish anxiously and waved his hand. Wang Ji brought over a dry cloth instead, and Prince Jing absent-mindedly patted himself dry, watching, but the fish never woke up. In the past, when the fish meditated, he would return within half an hour, but Zhao Yu hadn't moved since he was brought back. Prince Jing realized something was off and ordered his servants, who were good with fish, to take a look at him, but the servants weren't able to tell him anything new. They assumed Zhao Yu had just fallen asleep again, the same as always. If it was the same, then why wouldn't he wake up? Prince Jing didn't believe them and ordered Wang Ji to summon the Imperial Physician Xu. Imperial Physician Xu wasn't exactly an expert on fish diseases. He simply had a lot of koi at home. He couldn't find any issues either, no matter how intently Prince Jing stared at him. Prince Jing was extremely worried now. He was the only one who knew that this was a carp spirit and wasn't. Wow. Oh. Exactly. He was the only one who knew that this was a carp spirit that wasn't waking up. Did something go wrong with his cultivation? Prince Jing decided to take his fish to see Lao Kong. When Wang Ji heard of this, he anxiously advised, Your Highness, please give it some more thought. Almost nobody knows about the relationship between you and Lao Kong, so if you take Master Zhao Yu to the Great Master privately, the Emperor might notice it. If Lao Kong was involved with any prince, the Emperor would no longer trust him, and the words of advice Lao Kong had offered in the past would come under suspicion as well. Prince Jing understood this, but saving the fish was more important. Lao Kong knew some medicine, and he knew Zhao Yu's identity. He might be the only one who could help. Even if it made the Emperor suspicious, he had to go. Zhao Yu had saved him when he was younger, so it was natural that he should risk his life for Zhao Yu too. But Wang Ji did have a point. Prince Jing wrote, Help me deliver a note to the palace. My fish is sick, so I'm requesting to take him to see Lao Kong. Wang Ji's eyes lit up. There would be no need to worry if he had the Emperor's permission. Wang Ji ordered someone to come and help Prince Jing prepare clothes for the palace. Prince Jing put Zhao Yu into the crystal bottle and began to write the note. It was already late into the night. If Prince Jing wanted to enter the palace, then they needed someone in the palace to deliver the message. Everyone was busy for a while. The chaos finally woke Liu up. Or More accurately, Liu had become aware of it multiple times, but couldn't force himself to wake up no matter what he did. This time he used all his strength to force his eyes open a crack, and found that he was in the crystal bottle. His body hurt, and he didn't know what was wrong with him. He couldn't even flick his tail. He thought that the system must know his situation, so he tried to call out to it. He didn't know if the system would respond since he talked back to it last time, but it was clear that he was in a bad state. The system immediately said, "User, hello, you're sick." Xiao Yu realized that the plan. What? Xiao Yu realized that the pain and weakness he felt from being sick was from being sick. Was being sick as a fish similar to being sick as a human? You caught a cold because your human form stayed in the water for too long, the system corrected. What should he do then? If he was sick, would the system be responsible for curing him? The Moe Pet system only oversees the missions, not treating illnesses, the system said solemnly. You are in critical condition, user. If necessary, please turn into a human and ask for help. Liu finally felt the gravity of the situation. The fish scamming system never asked him to turn into a human on its own. Was he seriously ill? He kind of guessed that he was sick when he couldn't wake up and felt weak all over, though actually there was another surprising part of the request. The system said he should turn into a human. Was it already the next day? Yeah, that is some weird tea. Liu looked around. Prince Jing needed to change clothes to enter the palace, and Wang Gonggong was busy following him around. There wasn't anyone in the room, and the crystal bottle wasn't capped. This was an opportunity. Liu braced himself, then swam to the mouth of the bottle, and tumbled out of it with great difficulty. This was already more painful than he wanted. He weakly pressed on his scale to transform. As soon as he turned into a human, he felt much worse than he did when he was a fish. His whole body trembled and his teeth kept chattering. His fish form seemed to be able to offset some of his discomfort, but it couldn't cure him, which meant he'd be in pain again when he took human form. But it was the only way he could be given medicine. Liu used his last bit of strength to take out clothes from his inventory and sloppily put them on. He wanted to ask for help, but from who? Meanwhile, Prince Jing had quickly changed his clothes and finished writing the note. He planned on heading directly to Huguo Temple as soon as the emperor gave permission, even though it was late at night. He pushed the door open to get the crystal bottle when he saw someone on the floor, completely drenched. It was Xiao Yu. Recognizing Liu, Prince Jing quickly stepped forward to embrace him. When he unintentionally brushed against Liu's bare arm, he found that he was burning up. Liu lay in Prince Jing's arms. He was angry with Prince Jing and didn't want to see him, but when he was trying to wake up, he'd heard Wang Gonggong attempted to persuade Prince Jing several times. The servant and imperial physician all said that the fish was fine, but Prince Jing insisted that he wasn't feeling well and wanted to take him to see Lao Kong. He knew everything, including the fact that Prince Jing came into the water to look for him and took him out in his robes. He could hear the strong heartbeat from the chest he was leaning on. Even though he couldn't wake up, the heartbeat stayed with him in his dreams and made him feel at ease. Your Highness, I feel terrible, Liu sobbed hoarsely. All of his grievances from the past few days, the pain made him want to forget about everything. When Prince Jing heard this, he picked Liu up tenderly and kicked the door open. He knew Xiao Yu had a fever and wanted to call for someone, but he couldn't make any noise beyond a couple of coughs. Prince Jing was so anxious that he was sweating profusely. Your Highness, Wang Ji finally heard him and rushed over. Now that Xiao Yu was a human, the imperial physician could cure him. Prince Jing had Wang Ji clear the way, and he personally carried Xiao Yu to see the imperial physician. Because he's in love with him, is all. That's all. He's just in love with him, that's all. He's just in love with him. That's the end of the chapter. And that is also where we will be ending today. With the sick little fish. Sick fish, sick fish, sick fish, sick fish. Okay, say sick fish 10 times fast. It is not easy. Sick fish, sick fish, sick fish, sick fish. Oh, shucks. Yeah. Yeah, that's where we're ending today. It was about, yeah, an hour and a half. I think we're good. Sometimes we go for like 2 hours, but since I just woke up, my throat is still kind of it feel like I feel like you can hear it a bit. It's like really really squeezed. It's like I don't actually want to say that word. But yeah, it's not as relaxed as it could be. So I don't want to push myself too much. With that. Oh boy. But that is sick fish, 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 sick fish. Oh my. It's very difficult. Anyway, we'll be ending here today. I will see you all again on. Is today Monday or Friday? It's Friday today, right? Okay, Monday. Hopefully, honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen. I might have to cancel. We'll see how we are. It's just that so much has been going on that I kind of like really need a break, like a break from everything. I need like a couple completely break days. Otherwise, I will break. But we'll see. I think I might be able to recover on Sunday. I don't know. It'll be a like kind of last minute decision, I think. So Monday, maybe not. But definitely Friday again. We'll be back here next week. Also Wednesday, I don't know about Wednesday either, but we'll see. We will see. It'll be very much last minute decision stuff. Just so you know, I don't want to give anyone false hope for another stream soon. Because I am starting to feel a little burnt out already. But yeah, that's that. Just a little warning. Warning? Disclaimer? I don't like that word disclaimer because it's like a forced pronunciation, like not pronunciation, it's forced intonation. Like disclaimer. It's so like hard, it's hard to say, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you had a good time. I hope you have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, or night, or whatever rest of your day, I guess fits all of that. Please take care of yourself. I will go take care of myself. And I will see you all later. Maybe next week, maybe Monday, maybe Friday. We'll see.